long since I've done a YouTube video, y'all. So, I'm Nicole Artist. I'm a licensed real estate broker in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. It's been quite some time. I'm supposed to take y'all on the journey with me of becoming a broker owner, and I did not do that. So here I am 3 years later, and I've decided that I don't want to be a broker owner anymore. So, yes, you read the title correct. I've decided that I do not want to be a broker owner any longer. What people don't realize about being an owner of any company, but let's just talk about broker ownership. As a broker owner, we are everything, and we still have to be real estate agents. I still have to sell to keep the doors open, right? But I'm also a marketing coordinator, QuickBooks a accountant, a bookkeeper, compliance officer. I'm in operations, and I'm also expected to manage, train, and bring in agents. And I've decided that I no longer desire to have that type of life. Okay. So one thing that one of my brokers told me years ago was there is no money in being a broker. And they are absolutely right about that. Okay. You don't get an automatic pay a bigger paycheck because you are a broker. You do incur more expenses. So about a month ago, I decided, well, let me backtrack. The reason why I became a broker, number one, I had always said that once I got my salesperson license, at some point I would get my broker license. I just felt like it's just how it happens in real estate. You should get your broker's license, okay? Because you never know what that might lead to. You might want to open up your own company, or you might want to manage other companies. I decided that I was going to open up my own company. So my broker years ago told me that there was no money in broker ownership, and I see it. I see why he says that. When you are a broker, you are everything to everybody, as I stated, and you're also expected to bring in more agents because you want to bring in more agents and be able to train and coach them to a point where they are transacting that can kind of help take some of the weight off your shoulder. What I decided, and this was just like a random decision, I decided that I didn't want to be everything to everybody. And it is okay. I feel like a lot of the times we put pressure on ourselves to be that, to be everything to everybody. And I don't want to. I want to live a life of leisure and luxury. That's what I want to do. And I do not want to trade time for money. And being a broker owner and deciding that, okay, if I did recruit, I would be trading time for money, that is not what I desire to do. And what I meant by trading time for money by bringing in more agents is as a broker, if you decide that you want to bring in more agents, you are incurring more expense. Okay, so if an agent does not close, you still have to pay the office rent. You still got to pay for all of your systems and your tools. You have to pay for everything if an agent does not bring in deals. So look at it like this. Say you decide to open up an independent brokerage and you bring in 50 agents. Maybe only 15 of those agents will transact. That means that you still have to cover costs for 35 agents who are not transacting. Okay. So when I decided that, all right, well, I do want to recruit, because for a long time I would downplay and say, oh, I'm not going to bring in agents. It's just going to be me and like five people and I'm good. But like, what type of life am I going to create for myself if I'm not thinking big? Okay. But I was only thinking on a scale of what I can do right now. And for me, I felt like I could financially manage five agents. So I woke up one day and decided that no, I do want to recruit. I do want to bring in agents, okay? But I don't want to incur the cost or the responsibility of bringing in those agents. So I decided that it made more sense for me to partner with a company that would allow me to maintain my name, my brand, and allow me to run my business how I see fit, okay? That's it. So I'm still a broker, but I'm partnered with a company that can take on the responsibility and they can financially afford to take on the responsibility of the agents that I bring in. I want to focus on what I actually like doing, and that is training, coaching, and mentoring. I love that. Okay. I don't want to have to be training, mentoring, coaching, marketing manager, compliance officer, broker. I don't want to do all of that. Okay. I want to focus on one thing. I want to grow my team and I want to grow a team of successful agents. And I cannot do that if I'm focused on I got to get out here and close the deal too so that I can keep the lights on and I got to train the agent. So I decided that it made more sense for me to partner with a larger company, get rid of the responsibility. Okay. And it's understanding that ownership is not meant for everybody. And I'm not saying that this is something that's permanent. I'm saying that for right now, Nicole wants to take some of the load off her shoulders and really do get back to what she likes to do and be able to bring in agents. And another thing that was a deciding factor for me was I want the resources for my agents. Okay. I want my agents to have the tech. I want my agents to have a shitload of training that they can do. That's what I want my agents to have. But I was not willing to incur the cost of that upfront. Okay. And then, start recruiting agents. So that's why I decided that I did not want to be a broker owner. So I'm still a broker. I'm not going to be a broker owner anymore on my own. Being a broker is very humbling, and you also realize that you do need people. Okay, it is a very lonely position to be in because you have to do everything and you have to figure it out. And I kind of got tired of it. I want to retire soon. Okay, I know I don't look that old to be thinking about retirement, but I want to retire soon. Okay. And what I was doing now was not getting me closer to retirement. So another thing was that drew me to the company that I'm going to is I wanted to have access to agents throughout. Okay. If I'm a man, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it big. Okay. As a broker owner, you can you can open up offices in other states. But again, that's another expense for you. It's another license you have to get. It's another office you might have to potentially get, and it's more liability. What I'm doing now is I can access agents throughout the whole United States or wherever the company is licensed at, and I'm not incurring the cost or the responsibility of it. Okay. So that was another reason why I decided to go with this company. Like I could have looked at a ton of other companies, but I wanted a company that allowed me to have access to agents throughout. Okay. I wanted to have access to agents. I didn't want to be limited to just the DMV. Okay. So it was like many of reasons, many of things that I thought about before deciding that I'm going to go ahead and go up under somebody else's wing. It wasn't just about, incurring a financial cost, but it was more so about having access to more people. Okay. So that was very important to me. A myth. Okay, this is one of the biggest myths, and even I thought it myself. I always thought that when I seen independent brokers just go up under bigger companies, that wow, like maybe they just got in over their head with expenses because I don't have a ton of expenses. I could very well just be modern move agency on my own and be perfectly fine if I did not want to grow. But looking at what I'm partnering because I want to grow. And I'm like, well, maybe that is true for a lot of other brokerages that did it. They want to grow. So it made more sense to partner with other companies. So no, being an independent broker is what you make it. It does not have to be expensive. You can run a brokerage on a very low amount of money per month, okay? But the more people you bring in, the more it's going to cost you. And I was not prepared to do that. I've seen independent brokerages grow to 200 to 300 agents, but you have to understand that these people have the financial resources. And stop listening to people tell you that you don't need money to start a business. You absolutely need money, and you need a team. And I did not have the financial resources to say, all right, Nicole, you're going to open up an office in North Carolina, South Carolina. And I don't have those type of resources. And it's about being realistic about your situation. And not so much that I don't have the resources. I don't want to be responsible for it. Okay. I want to be financially free. I do not want to trade my time for money any longer. Okay, like that's the life that I'm trying to live. I don't want to trade time for money. I'm one of the people that if I can make $100,000 a year, okay, not having to work, not having to do this, not having to do that, versus make $500,000 a year and I'm booked and busy 7 days a week, I would take the $100,000 a year. That's just me. I don't want to trade time for money. I prefer to have a life where I can wake up, create my schedule, and say, these are the things that I want to do, not these are the things that I need to do to survive. Okay. So hopefully this answers your questions, especially if you are deciding that you want to become a broker owner. I hope that this can kind of give you some insight as to why I decided to go with a larger company. I'm still a broker, but I'm deciding to partner with another company. And if you are deciding that you want to be an independent broker and you have questions, you can contact me at the link in the description below.